it was cool. I was proud of myself that I, went through it the 3 days. It's not an easy thing to do something that you don't really want to do. Here we go. 3-day water fast. Let's go. I did the 3-day water fast for a couple reasons. Number one was I decided that I needed to challenge myself mentally. I needed to be able to push myself when into a situation that I didn't feel comfortable or something that I didn't really want to do. I see that often, right? Do things that you don't want to do, right? They're normally going to help you out. And did the 3-day water fast physically do anything for me? I don't know. I'm not a doctor, but there's a lot of research out there, or there is some research out there saying that it can have health benefits. But again, for me, number one reason was I just decided to mentally challenge myself. Hey, can you go 3 days without food? And, I think that when we do things like this, when we push ourselves mentally, it helps bleed into the rest of our life. When life throws things at us that aren't planned, that are hard, and it makes us more mentally resilient, mentally tough to handle those situations. And again, that's one of the biggest reasons why I wanted to do this. I just felt like I've been too in my comfort zone too much lately. So, hey, let's take food away. Let's see how I respond to that. And to be honest, I felt really good. I had insane amounts of energy. I didn't have hunger cravings all that often. For 72 hours, I had water with electrolytes and I had black coffee. I had 1 cup of black coffee every day in the morning. When I hit 24 hours, my energy levels were through the roof. I felt like I was on some sort of upper. It was kind of crazy.
Did you work out?
I did not do any working out. Our body shuts down protein synthesis, which basically that means there's really not a lot of reason to work out. If I did it again, I would try to work out next time.
Did you weigh yourself
I did.
beforehand?
So I weighed myself. I weighed 167.8 pounds after my last meal I did it from Sunday night till Wednesday night was the 72-hour period. Once you basically finish your final meal, that's 72 hours later is when you can have your next meal. So I think we went a little late. I think I had like a snack or something at 9 p.m. not thinking on Sunday night, really wishing it was a little earlier. I wish I would have probably stopped eating at like 6 p.m. or 7 p.m. 9 p.m. just a little late, but it is what it is. I weighed 167.8, and then when I ended my fast, I weighed 160.0 exactly. So basically lost 8 pounds. I looked like, very lean. And yeah, it was nice. My body felt good. My joints felt good. That was also probably something to do with not working out for 3 days, where I felt really good from that. But, weighing less, obviously, you're not carrying around that extra weight. And I felt really good. My energy levels were insane. Hunger cravings during the 3-day fast were not overwhelming. I'd get them here and there. Maybe what I would assume it was at my eating times, because I eat at a pretty normal basis, right? I eat at 8 o'clock ish in the morning, 8 to 9 o'clock in the morning. I'll eat my lunch at 12 to 1, and I'll eat my dinner. We eat kind of late, 7 to 8 is when we typically eat our dinner, and so it's a little later in the evening. But if I had to correlate what times I was having hunger pains, I'm going to assume it was right around those times. Like my body's just like, hey, we normally eat. What's going on? But they went away pretty quick. And I did have my wife to do this with me, which was awesome. Having an accountability buddy, you always want to have that, someone there to basically keep you in check. I didn't have those moments where I was like, oh, I just need some food. I just really want to eat. The only time I struggled a little bit and had those moments was the last day when I felt like I was just anticipating it. I knew I was going to eat that later that day. So I was like, oh, I just can't wait to eat. But the first day, the 2 days where I knew I wasn't eating that day, it wasn't an issue at all. I wasn't having these like, oh my gosh, I wasn't having crashes. So Sydney, when she had a little bit different experience. She struggled on the day 2 with energy levels. Her energy levels were really low. She got really nauseous and she actually ended up throwing up. We didn't have anything to test her blood sugar levels or anything like that, or how much ketones were in her body. And so what I think happened is her blood sugar dropped really low. And so we did give her like 2 ounces of bone broth. And I think she took like 1 scoop of yogurt, and all of it went away. And so she decided, instead of just being like, oh shit, I didn't make it the full 72 hours without having anything, she continued on and still did the 72 hours. I'm assuming that she probably still got any of the benefits that you can get from fasting from it, because she had a little slip up. A lot of times, actually, if you read out there, a lot of people who do fast, they do actually talk about fasting snacks. And so for people who, you know, just are having a really hard time, there's ways to help that, and you still mitigate it and still get some of the benefits. And so yeah, she did, and I was actually really proud of her. It could have easily been, I'm not feeling good, I'm low energy, I'm throwing up, I'm nauseous, and I had a cup of bone broth. I might as well just stop, but she didn't. So that was really cool, and that was a cool thing to see that she pushed through that, and that's not an easy thing to do.
How was the mental push for you? Did you feel like you wanted to quit at any moment?
Yeah, no, I mean, not really. I just kind of made the decision. It was like, nope, I'm doing this, and I typically, when I do that, I can stay pretty strong. But it was good to, feel uncomfortable. I definitely wanted to eat. It's not like I didn't enjoy not eating. A lot of my day is consumed by two things: working out and eating food, and both of them were removed. And so I was really bored. And that was one of the hardest things for me, was just to like get through the boredom of the day and trying to figure out other things to do.
So you don't fixate on it?
Yeah, so you're not thinking about it all the time. I just wanted to be out of the house. I did go to a wrestling practice where my kids go to school. They're not on the wrestling team, but some dads that I'm friends with have sons on the wrestling team. So I told them I'd come up and help. And so that actually helped out. Got out of the house for a little bit and got my mind off of, being bored and thinking about food. So
Did you get irritable or hangry at
I said I
all?
didn't. I was actually shocked, because I do get hangry. I get irritable when I know supposed to eat and I'm not eating. But I think I just had the mindset where I was like, I knew it was just like, nope, you're not eating, and I was fine. And I didn't have those moments where I was like, oh, just get away from me, shut up. It was cool. I was proud of myself that I went through it the 3 days. It's not an easy thing to go to do something that you don't really want to do. And then the health benefits that they talk about is on fasting, right? You can help your metabolism. You can change your metabolic pathway from, obviously, using glycogen as your energy source into using your fat as your energy source, which is ketosis. And that could be a good thing. Removing sugar from your diet is always probably going to be a good thing. I know I do eat fruit. I eat sugar, so I definitely use my energy source is probably glycogen, but there is probably some benefits to going into ketosis for a little bit. Autophagy is obviously another one, where that is basically our body getting rid of the dysfunctional and dead cells in our body, right? And so, which basically comes from aging typically, right? We don't reproduce cells or get rid of the dead cells or dysfunctional cells in our body as good as we used to when we were younger. And so doing things that can help this are always good. There's a lot of cool studies and cool people who really dive deep into the fasting part of this, all the benefits that you can receive from it, the mental clarity, getting the inflammation out of your joints. It's a really cool thing. And again, like I said, it's a mental struggle, and it's building that mental resilience when things are hard. Where do you go, right? Do you give up? Do you quit? Do you just give in? Or can you get through them and push through them? And that's our life in a nutshell, right? Like, there are going to be ups and downs, and we have to be able to handle situations that we don't really want to be in sometimes. And so putting ourselves in those positions just helps build that mental resilience. And that was my favorite part of this. I don't know if I'll do this all the time or even very often. I do think I'm going to start adding 24-hour fast into my regiment more often, maybe once every couple months or once a month. 3-day fast, I might do it once a year. It's not something I plan on doing all that often. It was really cool to go through it and actually experience it and handle it well. Hunger cravings aren't there. Hopefully I get some health benefits out of it. Even just starting with 24, 48-hour fast, it's not easy. I actually thought the first 24 hours, I thought about food the most. The 24 to like 52 hours or 56 hours was fine. And then towards the end, I knew I was going to eat, so I was just kind of anticipating it more. So, they talk about at the 24-hour mark, for men especially, you see a big significant increase in testosterone and growth hormone into the body, which is awesome, right? Like most men. that's the hormones that we want. That's the ones that we're looking for. And so, it's cool that you can try to get them naturally and not have to go down the synthetic route of that. So
Drink water, coffee, electrolytes. Can you speak to that?
purist fasters say no coffee or tea or anything. I know that if I wouldn't have had coffee, I would have probably gotten the withdrawals from caffeine, not no caffeine. I drink coffee every day. So I have had to do like 24 hours without coffee, and I definitely started getting a pretty good headache. The moment I had a cup of coffee, it went away. So for me, I was like, all right, there's no calories in coffee. So you're not actually breaking the fast technically. Basically, what they say to not break your fast, as long as you're not doing anything that makes your blood sugar go up. And so coffee doesn't do that. So yeah, it is what it is. I had coffee. The electrolyte water, right? You need electrolytes. Water alone won't hydrate you, and you get a lot of your electrolytes through food too. So having a little bit of salt in your water. I think I said it earlier, but I got dizzy. I was definitely getting dizzy, and I was drinking tons of water. I was probably drinking, if I had to bet, I bet I was drinking 15 of these a day. Like, have a little hunger. Oh, chug some water. I'm bored. Oh, chug some water. And so you drink a lot of water, you pee a lot. But yeah, I mean, the electrolytes is definitely something I would recommend. Some people do it without electrolytes. They just go straight water. Again, that's awesome. If you go out there and look at some of the stuff that people say, like electrolytes are fine, it's not going to break your fast or anything like that.
So what was your first meal after 72 hours?
So yeah, that's a great question.
And was it at 9 p.m.?
It was at 9 p.m. exactly. It was like 9:01, I think, is when I actually ate. And so when you break your fast, they say you want to break it and so at this point, your body's in ketosis, where you're burning fat instead of glucose. Your glycogen storages are all gone. And so you want to start your fast, what most people say is bone broth, right? Like a cup of bone broth, right? Your stomach is obviously shrunk now, so you can't have this. You can't just like go straight back into the ridiculous amount of calories that I eat on a daily basis. So I started with a cup of bone broth and a half of avocado and 3 over easy eggs. And I kind of did it in like, I didn't just like, it wasn't all made and I just hammered it all. I had the cup of bone broth, got out a half of avocado, had the avocado, and then I probably was like 10, 15 minutes later, I had 3 eggs. And then an hour later, I made a quarter pound of ground beef. So you're trying to ease back into eating, and you're trying to stay with protein and fats right off the bat. You're still wanting to kind of stay away from carbs because you can continue to get some of those benefits from being in ketosis. And so I did that. That was literally all I had that night, because that was at 9 p.m. So 9 and 10 p.m. I ate. And then the next morning, again, I think I went small. I think I went 2 eggs and a quarter pound of ground beef. And I didn't have any fruit that next morning yet. I think I had another cup of bone broth. Lunch, I had half a pound of ground beef and avocado. I think I had a whole avocado, another cup of bone broth. And I don't think I reintroduced carbs until either that evening or the 24 hours later. And I finally started adding back in. And I think it took to day 3 being off of it that I was eating full meals that I was eating before. And now it's Tuesday of the next week. So I did the fast almost exactly a week ago, and I'm back. So like I said, I was at 160.0. I'm already back to 167.8 this morning. I checked it. So yeah, so I've already put all that weight back on, which is fine. My goal was not to lose weight. I wasn't like trying to lose weight by doing this. So I actually wanted the weight back on. I actually want to get to like 170. So yeah, I feel good. I feel great. I'm glad I did it. Mentally, it was tough, but wasn't as tough as I thought it was going to be honest. But yeah, I think I definitely saw some benefits from it. Got mentally stronger from it. We'll definitely add it into my regimen a little more. Not the 72 hours, like I said, 24 hours for sure. If you have any questions, hit me up. I can give you any information that I can on fasting. There's a lot of information out there. You can look into it, but I think there's a lot of good things that come from fasting, health benefit wise, and mental resilience. There you have it. Like I said, if you have any questions, hit me up, Instagram, YouTube, here, comments below, and I will answer it to the best of my ability. So hope you guys enjoyed that. As always, don't forget to pay the man.